Alright, so here's our in-class, in-car assignment. We're talking about what a group and what a work team is. So basically, a group is formed when two or more people have a common interest, objectives, and continuing interaction. So yeah, our class has continuing interaction because we meet up on Tuesday and Thursday, so we're continually to meet. We have common interests, everybody wants to get through the class, everybody wants to do it well in the class. And objectives, are we doing work? Doing work. And a work team is more intellectual wise, basically. It's a group with complementary skills who are committed to a common mission, performance goals, and approach for which they hold themselves mutually responsible. So everybody in the class holds each other responsible in order to get their work done and to get everything done, and in order to not hold back the group, in order to strive. So everybody in the class knows their mission. Everybody in the class wants to get an A. Everybody wants to get everything that they can take out of this class. So that's why I say that our class is more of a work team, because we have goals we've set and we know what we want. So our next question is psychological intimacy and integrated involvement, baby. So psychological intimacy refers to emotional and psychological closeness to other team or group members. So this is basically these people who feel comfortable and they feel joy and happiness from when they talk to people and when they make friendships with people. It makes them happy in order to gain this emotional trust from somebody, and they bond from this. And if these people can't get that emotional bond and trust, then they feel lonely inside society. They feel like no one needs them. They feel like just nothing, like they're not needed in the world. And then we have integrated involvement, which are people who take pride in their work, people who take pride in going to their job every day, people who get a sense of high or achievement because they've done their work to the best of their ability, and most of the time they feel better when they're like someone has given them a sense of acknowledgement, like they got an A on a test, that they'll get really excited about that, or if their boss promotes them or something. So these are things that give them the sense of achievement, and if they don't get this sense of achievement, then they feel socially lonely. They don't want to talk to anybody.
That reminds me of me.
Just like you. And I think it's more of an introvert extrovert kind of thing, because I feel like I'm more of integrated involvement, because I don't need that relationship with, like, to talk to people. Like, if I don't talk to people, if I don't gain that relationship, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm not going to be socially lonely or anything. But if I get that bad grade on that test, or if I didn't do something my best of my ability, then I'll feel for the rest of the day that, like, I could have done better, I should have done better, I feel lonely, I don't want to talk to anybody, exactly what it says in here. So I think as an extrovert, where they want to talk to people more, it's more likely that they're going to be physiological intimacy. I mean, it could switch for sure, but from my point of view, I think that's what it is. So next we're going to have a quote from Madison here. Why don't you go ahead and read that quote?
It is out of dissimilarity that strength is developed, and it is out of similarity that connects are built.
Alright, so when I rehear this quote, I think of what we learn in class, where people who have similarities are drawn together. So if you have something similar with someone else, you're automatically going to be drawn together, you're going to strike a connection. So if Madison likes fishing, and I like fishing, we're instantly going to start talking about fishing. And this is going to spark our connection. And then from this connection, we're going to go on and start talking about other things, and that's going to form our friendship, our bond. But in the quote in the beginning, can you read the beginning again, Madison?
It is out of dissimilarity that strength is developed.
Right. So strength is developed from being different. So those people who dress differently, who dress not just differently, but like way differently than other people, like emo people and stuff, it takes strength to do those kind of things. They're not going along with society, they're not going along with everybody and just saying, okay, I'm going to dress this way. It takes strength for them to do these things. And in a business organization, I think when your boss comes up with a discussion or with a plan and everybody else just agrees with it just because he's the boss and you're the only one who doesn't agree with it, it takes strength to do that, to go outside the group and to say something that might not impress your boss. So I think that takes strength, and that's also developed. It doesn't just happen first. Like you have to do this over a couple of times to gain comfortable with it and develop it. It doesn't just happen. So the next thing we're going to talk about is Tuckman's 5-stage model of group development. So the first stage of this is storming, and storming includes conflict, increased clarity of purpose, power struggle, and coaching. So the next stage we have is norming, which is agreement and consensus, clear roles and responsibilities, and facilitation. The next one we have is performing, and performing includes clear vision and purpose, focus on goal, achievement, and delegation. So the last one we have is adjourning, which is the highest one, which is where you complete your task, everybody gets a sense of achievement, everybody's happy, and everybody's recognized for their sense of achievement. If I had to pick one of these for our class, I would pick that we are normative, because everybody has an agreement and a consensus. Everybody agrees that we're going to be in class, we're going to work together in order to get things done. And we have clear roles. We have little groups, and so we have clear roles in our little groups, and we know what we need to do in order to complete these goals and stuff in our class. But the reason I say we're not at performing yet is because, just for example, for this paper, I talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't really know what to do, and the reason is because we're only given a limited amount of instructions, and I feel that people aren't comfortable with just going out and doing whatever they want, being creative. What do you think about that?
I agree.
They're not just comfortable with going out and being creative because they're taking a risk, because they don't want to mess up their grade. People in our class, a lot of people that I know, I was confused. I didn't want to mess up my grade. I didn't want to just take a risk and just do something different, and my grades suffer. So, and the reason I think that we're not outperforming yet is because also everybody in our class isn't on the same goal. Everybody doesn't know exactly what we want. Some people in the class want A, some people want to take what they can out of this class, and some people just want to get through this class. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is Madison's quote.
Leaders must bring together a team that is functionally, intellectually, demographically, and temperamentally diverse.
Alright, so I think I'm going to combine this with our next question of diversity, because I think they're pretty much the same thing. But the quote Madison just read is basically describing a great team. A leader who wants to have a great team wants people that are functionable, intellectual, demographical, and temperamentally diverse. So these people are all going to have different viewpoints. These people are from different places, different countries, they believe different things, they grew up differently, so they're going to have different viewpoints. So Madison, if I had to ask you, what is your viewpoint on procrastination? What would you say?
Well, for me, I like to get things done whenever I have an ample amount of time to do things, so I don't cram everything in at once and stress about it in the end.
Being from the islands, some people might say they'd rather go out and have fun and enjoy life with their friends and then get work done. There's always time to do work, but there's not always time to have fun with your friends. What are you going to remember? Having fun with your friends or doing a project? But just like this, for an example, two different viewpoints. If we both would have said the same exact answer, then we wouldn't have had a discussion after this. You wouldn't have people saying why their point is better. Your team wouldn't be as functional, and they wouldn't have different viewpoints, meaning that I might pull up a point that our team might get sued for $1 million because of this. That no one else saw that because they were just going along with it. But because I didn't believe in it, saved us $1 million perhaps. So it's, in order to have a great team, you want people who are demographically and you want people diverse. You want people who are going to speak up, be leaders. You want people who are going to take charge. You want people who are going to listen. You want people who are going to keep you on track in time. And in order to have a successful group, basically, you want to be diverse in the class. So The next thing I'm going to talk about is
maintenance functions.
maintenance functions, correct. So maintenance functions are basically activities that gets a group to correlate better, to come together better, because in groups, a lot of time you have task-related activities, you have a lot of work, you have a lot of deadlines, and this creates a lot of fights most of the time because Madison might come to work and she may not do anything, and I feel like she's not doing anything, and I starts an argument right there. But in order to get through these things, this is where these activities come into place. This is where you hang out, you learn, you get to know people, so you become closer not only in the workforce but as a team. So Madison might come to work and she might not did her work last week. So instead of me just jumping on her back, starting an argument, which would cause nothing but just wasting time, I might ask her what's going on in her life, because I know Madison's a good person. I know she's better than that. She's usually prepared, so why is she not prepared this time? So this is the importance of these activities. They bring people together in a group, and they cause a group to be more functional. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is how our organization as a class is going to go to the next step. So I think we need to get together as a class and just decide as a class, and everybody has to stick to this, what we want our mission to be as a class. Do you all want to get an A in the class? Do you all want to take as much out of this class as we can? Or do you just want to get through the class? Do you want to just get through the class, Madison?
I want to get the highest GPA I can.
Highest GPA you can. Well, then that's what we need to stick to, and we need to figure out goals and performance activities in order to get the highest GPA we can. So maybe we need to set up a schedule that we're going to read this chapter, we're going to read this chapter, we're going to do this, we're going to do this next week. This is how our class is going to get to next step. I also think we get to next step by giving more activities like this, where we're not given as much instructions, we're given more of our own. We have to figure out these things on our own and take more of a risk, because this is how we're going to grow. This is how we're going to be in an organization. And I think this is a great experience for all of us, because it is very confusing, and I think hopefully it turned out okay. So this is our presentation in the car while driving, and now we are at school ready to upload the video and send it to you. So